Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel Salesforce AI Champions. Today I'll be going to talk about one of the important feature of the Salesforce flow, like fast field update in record triggered flow. So before get started, please do like, share, subscribe my YouTube channel. So for today's demo, I'll be just taking one use case for a lead record. So whenever a lead record is getting created or edited, and then if the annual revenue of this lead record is like greater than 50,000, then I will be just updating the field of the rating, this rating field to hot. Unless whenever the revenue is less than 50,000, then I will be just putting the rating as cold. So I'll be using that fast field update feature in the record trigger flow. So the main key thing for the fast field update flow is like, so whenever the record is getting saved into the database, then before saving the data into that database, we can update the record, or we can just manipulate the record fields using this fast field updates feature. So the use cases are like, for the fast field updates includes like automatic population of the fields. We can just make automatically set or update fields based on specific conditions or calculations when a record is getting created or edited. And like for setting a, for example, like setting a default value for a field, or like some other use cases includes like data normalization, ensure data quality and consistency by standardizing some of the fields. So, and conditional logic, like modify a field when certain criteria are met for that. So let me just create that new record triggered flow, and we'll be just testing it out after that. So I'll be clicking on the new button for the flow, and I will be just selecting this triggered, and under the trigger types I'll be selecting this record triggered flow. And this record triggered flow, we can see that there are certain things we need to fill up, like object. So for our case, the object is lead, and the scenario will be whenever the lead is getting created. So I'll be just keep it when the record is getting created. And I'll be checking like just a prerequisite condition: if the annual revenue is greater than 0. So this will be like preliminary my condition. So, and this is the main feature, like this optimize the flow for fast field updates. So this option needs to be selected, and in here we can find the information like update fields on the record that triggers the flow into run. This high performance flow runs before the record is saved into the database. So this fast field update feature we need to select, and I'll be just clicking on this plus icon to add a new decision element to check if the amount is greater than 50,000 or not. Lead annual revenue check, and whenever this outcome would be like annual revenue greater than 50,000. So this will be the first path, and I will be just selecting this triggering record. So triggering record dot annual revenue we need to select, and whenever this is greater than or equals to 50,000. So this is the first path, and the second path will be like annual revenue is less than 50,000. So these are the two paths for the decision element. So decision element is nothing but it just provides a simple interface for, like, our in the code we use if else logic, so that if else or else if those conditions can be incorporated using this decision element of a flow. I have other tutorials for the flow, please check them out. And I'll be just, we need to just update the triggering record, like for our case this lead record rating fields needs to be updated, right? So update lead rating to hot, and I'll be just selecting find how to find the records to update and set their values. Use the lead record that triggered the flow. So for which lead record that triggered this first will update flow, so that record will be taken into consideration, and I will be just set values, I just need to select this rating. This rating needs to be updated to hot, right? So this is the first fill up, this is the first update record. And the second, another path is like whenever the revenue is less than 50,000, so update rating to cool. And the same option I'll be selecting, like use the lead record that triggered the flow, and I'll be just selecting this rating to cold, and I'll be just save the flow. First field update lead object. So we can activate directly, so there are no complexities involved, so we can just test it out directly. So let me just go through once quickly. So whenever the lead is getting created, so it's on the creation trigger condition. So whenever the lead is getting created with the annual revenue greater than 0, and it will be taken into that first field update and the lead rating field, and we are checking with this lead annual revenue. So whenever this annual revenue is greater than or equals to 50,000, and the in the else path I'll be just selecting the annual revenue is less than 50,000. So whenever it's greater than 50,000, I'll be just updating the triggering lead record and updating the field like rating to hot. Otherwise it will be just rating will be just cold. So we have just activated the flow, and let me just test it out. So we can just create a new lead record. So annual revenue, let me select greater than 50,000, and we are good to save, and we will see that this rating should be updated to hot, right? Let me save the record. So our record got created, and in the details tab we can see this rating is field is getting updated to hot automatically with that our flow. And let me check other scenario, like whenever the um, annual revenue is less than 50,000, that scenario. So I'll be just selecting 10,000. Let me save this, and we can see that rating is cold. So this is how we can just simply use fast field update to increase the performance while the record is getting saved into the database. We can just update, pre-populating some of the fields. We can just make some fields default. We can use various condition logics to make field updations. Those kind of scenarios we can handle with this help of this fast field update feature in the record trigger flow. So that's all for this demo. Please stay tuned. Please do like, share, subscribe my YouTube channel. I'll be adding more tutorials on Salesforce and Omni Studio topics, so please subscribe. Thank you. Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel Salesforce AI Champions. Today I'll be going to talk about another use case of the fast field updates in the record triggered flow of the Salesforce. So before get started, please do like, share, subscribe my YouTube channel. So in the last session I have already one tutorial on fast field update. In that I have discussed about whenever a lead record is getting created, then whenever the annual revenue is greater than like 50,000, then I'm just updating that rating field of the lead to hot. So that one scenario, one use case I have discussed in the session 1. So I will include that video link of the tutorial 1 for the fast field for the flows in the description. So in the today's use case, that use case will be like whenever we are just converting a lead into opportunity. So whenever a lead conversion happens in Salesforce by like clicking on this convert lead button in the lead record, so that lead is getting distributed among 3 records, like right, like account, a contact, and optionally opportunity, and the parent and the lead record got archived. So I'll be discussing on that use case, like whenever the lead is getting converted, then when the opportunity is getting created from that lead, so that opportunities close date needs to be updated with that fast field feature in the record trigger flow. So by default, whenever a lead conversion happens, the opportunity close date automatically set to the end of the fiscal year, right? So and so this is the by default scenario. So whenever this lead is getting converted into opportunity, it will take the close date of the opportunity as the end date of the fiscal year. So we will just modify that close date. So whenever the lead is getting converted with our predefined value using a formula in that fast fill update flow. So let's create the flow. So I'll be creating a record triggered flow. So selecting this record triggered flow. So our object should be opportunity. So whenever the opportunity is getting created, so and I'll be selecting this fast fill updates feature, and I'll just create from the resource from the manager. I'll be just clicking on this new resource to create a formula. So the formula will be like of close date formula, and the data type should be date, and I'll be just putting like today. So insert function, from the function we can search for this today function. So I am just keeping it 10 days, like whenever the opportunity is getting created, the close date should be today plus 10 days. So after the 10 days it will be just opportunity close date will just populate. So I'll be just click on this checkbox, check syntax, so it is a valid formula. I'll be just clicking on done, and from the designer palette, so I can just update the triggering record. So update the triggering record means the for which means for that opportunity record, this fast fill update flow got triggered, right? So update the op record. So I'll be just how to find the records to update and set their values. I'll be just selecting, by default it will be selected since I just selected update records for the triggering. So and use the opportunity record that triggered the flow. I'll be just selecting from the opportunity fields. We need to search for this close date. We need to update the standard field. So and it should be updated with that created formula. So that's all. I can just save the flow. I'm just clicking on save. So we can just add a different fall path as well. For fast fill update we can't add the fall path. Okay, so we can just activate the flow, and let me just test it out. From the lead record we can just convert this lead record. So we want to create an opportunity, so there is an option like the opportunity creation is optional. Whenever the lead is getting converted, we can just mark the checkbox to true if we don't want to create an opportunity record with the lead conversion. But in our case we want to create a new opportunity, so I'll be just clicking on this convert button, and I'll be just searching this opportunity we need to search, and we can see that this the date is 22nd August, and today is 12th August, and the close date got populated by default with 22nd August. So this is how we can just simply use a fast fill update feature in the record trigger flow to update certain fields for the triggering records. And we can just data normalization perspective, we can also use this feature effectively. So this is the second use case for this fast fill update. I'll be covering more tutorials on the Salesforce and Omni Studio topics. So please stay tuned. Please do like, share, subscribe my YouTube channel. Thank you.